Cochran would have he'd have the play sheet held up above his head.
Right.
And they would gather in him and he would show the play sheet. And we're in the locker room and he goes, "Where my job, Steelers?"
That is spot on. Do it again.
It kills my voice, man.
Okay.
We got a whole nother the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Here you go. "Where my job, Steelers?"
Just like, I mean, that is just like.
And he had that hat on. You know, we haven't talked about, not to get off on a tangent, the whole Scott Cochran situation and Will Muschamp taking over that position, the special teams coach for Georgia and Kirby Smart. Does anybody even know what's going on with Scott Cochran?
I mean, there's a lot of rumors that go around. Nothing I'm going to report on the air. But,
right.
I mean, life comes at you fast sometimes, and you can get overwhelmed mentally in choices you make and decisions that happen.
Yeah.
So, you wish the best for people. I mean, we're seeing, mental health being discussed all over sports. You saw Osaka last night at the Cincinnati tennis event going on, and she has another meltdown in a media session answering questions from the Cincinnati Enquirer. I mean, there's a lot of mental stress going on in the world, and if they can pile up on you. I mean, we've all experienced a little bit of it over 60 days. The ebbs and flows of what's going on in our world right now, and it's tough. So I will tell you this about Tim Tebow: the timing doesn't surprise me about this too. Tim Tebow has to recommit himself to his broadcasting career about right now. Right?
Yeah, I would say today's a good day to do that.
No, I think it's a great point, and I guarantee you there was a heart-to-heart yesterday with Urban Meyer and Tim Tebow, and Urban said, "Look, hey, son, more than likely, I love you like a son. You're probably not going to make this team. Do you really want to go out and give it another shot next week, or do you want to prepare?" We've always said one of the best things in life is having options.
Yep.
Tim Tebow has got a ton of options. So I think you're spot on here. This is an opportunity to go on and get out ahead of this. You've still got a couple of weeks to get back in ESPN form, get ready for the SEC network.
And let's be honest, he's got to get back in ESPN TV shape, because the first thing when I saw Tebow,
he can't fit in a suit.
Yeah,
man.
First time I saw Tebow in his camp fit, he's bulked up, man. I mean, he's
massive.
Yeah.
I just went on I'd never seen the Avengers. I had seen some of those movies, but me and Little Man just finished all four in like a couple of weeks. And this is Mark Ruffalo to the Hulk.
It's exactly.
He's got a bit of a temper.
Yeah, that is spot on.
A little bit.
that is spot on right there.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine? I get confused. Is Feinbaum, he's not on the SEC network set this year, right?
No, I think he is.
Yeah, I think he is.
I think he's doing that and game day. I don't know. Maybe he's going to be a contributor. I really don't know.
Okay, but I was just going to say at this point right now, the extremes of that set, to have Feinbaum and Tebow sitting right next to each other, with what Feinbaum brings to the table in the frame and what Tebow brings to the table in the muscle mass right now, that would be
The before and after ad.
It really is. Yes.
Wasn't there old Life magazine cartoons? It seems like I've seen this somewhere throughout the years of cartoons, or maybe it was
Mad Magazine.
Mad Magazine, maybe, but it was something like promoting drink your milk, and like a skinny Feinbaum-looking guy on the beach and a big muscular Tebow-looking guy kicks sand on him or something, and the guy drinks his milk, and he comes back and he's able to put down the bully on the beach.
I saw that with spinach and Popeye, but
Put down the bully on the beach.
Put down the old bully on the beach.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Day 3 today. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, Rockstar Forrester, all here. Phone lines open later in the show, but I'm going to give the number out early because I got slapped on the wrist yesterday by Brownie. 205-734-0923. 205-734-0923 right there. You can call in. You can also jump into the live YouTube chat. You can join us on Twitter at Next Round Live. We appreciate all you guys viewing and watching us as we jump into another show. And listen, Brownie sometimes says things on these shows, Lance, and I don't really agree with him, but I let him slide. And when he was talking to Feldman yesterday about Scott Frost and a hot seat, and I was like,
I didn't know this.
Scott Frost isn't going to get fired. Scott Frost isn't going to get fired. He's not really on the hot seat. They're not underperforming. They're not going to get fired. Then Brett McMurphy drops the story that Scott Frost in Nebraska under NCAA investigation. It's not a major investigation, but it's the kind of stuff that starts to leak out if there's a big booster, like we saw at Tennessee with Jeremy Pruitt, that if they start to not like you a little bit, things start to leak out that you're not doing exactly right inside your program. And that's what we got from Scott Frost in this Brett McMurphy report yesterday.
It's kind of like that is my mic even on?
Uh-oh.
You there?
Yeah, we'll talk amongst ourselves momentarily. There was an engineer here yesterday, and
Worked on that microphone?
Worked on that microphone, yeah. How'd that go? He panicked, cut the blue wire.
Hey, we put in the dump button for LT finally.
It's like the old perma-dump for LT.
Well, Brownie and I will continue on with the show while you guys work on that.
You do have you want to come over here and give it? Why don't you come over here and give it? I'll go look at that because I think I'm more technically inclined. Of everyone on the show, like if somebody had to fix a microphone, would you depend on me most, Rockstar?
Dunaway.
Dunaway. All right, go, Jim.
I don't even know where
they're plugged in.
Where the
Hang on,
microphones
I'll be
are
right
plugged
back.
in.
I'll go look at it.
Yeah. So Lance,
Make your point, Lance.
See, I thought about when we did a you guys.
No, it's kind of like the rogue employee that people start to not like, and HR has to build a file on them in order for you to get rid of. That's what happens in some of these circles when you have these massive buyouts. 4 calls is why you want to be able to fire someone. I kind of agreed with you yesterday. I mean, that is their golden boy. They want to give him a little bit of time. Nebraska football is not even close to what it once was. They are. I will have to call you out. You said that they weren't underperforming. They are underperforming.
Yeah.
Again, I'll point out.
I'm not sure you could hear me. I did say they were underperforming.
Okay, I misheard you then. Well, you're dead on. They are underperforming. But again, Scott Frost in his 6 years as a head coach, he's had 1 winning record. And that's kind of hard to do. And that 1 winning record parlayed him into making a lot of money and getting what was once a top 25 job. And I don't even know where Nebraska falls. I don't even know if Nebraska's is it a top 40 job now?
I think with that fan base and that history, I mean, it's not like they haven't won since the 80s or the 70s. They were a dynasty in the 90s. And the 90s are now a long time ago. The 90s are for people our age. If
We're coming up on 30 years.
Yeah, if you're in your 40s to, when you were in high school and college and your parents waxed poetically about the 60s. Well, that's what the 90s are now,
Which is
right?
insane, yeah.
Right? So that's what the 90s are to our kids and to our kids' friends. So, yeah, it's been a long time for Nebraska.
I'll tell you what I think happened to Nebraska, and I think you'll agree with this because I think we've talked about this in some form or fashion in the past. Nebraska going to the Big Ten was not a good move. It never seemed like a great fit. To me, Nebraska was more of a Big 12. I mean, we go back to the old Big 8 days, and
but you can't
love
say that right
conference.
now, though, Lance, because they're in the Big 10 and they're safe. If they were still in the Big 12, would they have been part of this SEC? Would the SEC brought them in too?
No, but think about it like this. So the Big 12 was really never the Big 12. We had 10 teams, and now you're down to 8. But if Nebraska was still there, you bring another team in. If the Big 12 is able to survive, and I think we all think that it won't survive
It will
now
not,
with
no.
no Oklahoma and Texas, but if it was able to survive as a less conference, Nebraska would have that opportunity to maybe become the alpha again in that conference.
Yeah, but it's not a Power 5 conference anymore. Nebraska left a long time ago because they knew what the future was going to be and that the Big 12 was forever going to be the Gaza Strip of college football. People were going to be battling they were the weaker link in all of college football, and it all swung on Texas. If Texas left, that league was going to be in trouble.
Look, and
if Texas went to the Big Ten, if Texas went to the Pac-12, Texas always has flirted with everybody. Now they're coming to the SEC, and Nebraska would have been probably the SEC probably would have said, okay, we'll take Texas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, and add one more in, and maybe a Kansas, and bring them in too.
Well, I think Nebraska ultimately went to the Big Ten for money, for more exposure.
Exactly, and security.
Yeah, for security and for the academic exposure, for at least the optics of that. I'm not going to say this is going to happen to Texas. And I know we've got this as a topic at some time, maybe this week, next week, down the road. But Texas coming to the SEC, I'm not going to say it's Nebraska going to the Big Ten, but Texas could disappear, at least right now where Texas football is in the SEC.
Could end up being very mediocre. Go check out my Twitter feed from earlier this morning. And a lot of you saw this yesterday bouncing around. I can only assume it was 3 special teams guys at Texas in the football building. But one guy is down on his back. And then there's have you seen the video?
No, I have. It's awful.
And then there's a guy who's sort of pyramided on top of him. And then another guy's on his back, and they're sort of simulating a workout bike.
This wasn't as bad as the picture you took of Brown and Rocky under the
Hey,
desk.
whoa.
Wait, did y'all even see that picture?
Yeah, I saw that picture.
Would you guys clear that to be sent out
I
on
would not
social
send
media?
that out.
Oh, I'm fine with it.
Lance
Yeah.
won't even clear it.
Well, I mean,
Lance, would not send
I
that
would
out.
clear it for you guys.
We were building a desk.
No, I mean, it
That's
was.
how we
see
learned
you
how to
shoot
build
out.
things in my family.
So there was.
Is that mic working now?
It is,
You
yeah.
wanna switch?
We'll swap
Okay,
out. Let's do a little dance here.
It's been a good thing about me is I never get distracted when things are going on.
Oh, no. Hey, have a good show, fellas.
I
Have
got
a
back
good
to my
show.
comfort zone, Jim. All right, so Rockstar.
I sort of liked Lance to my right
Did you?
and Brown to my left.
Well, why don't y'all switch again?
So Rockstar and I were doing a little construction, and I had to get Rockstar to hold one piece in place, and of course Rockstar can't just do that. He's got to make it as awkward as possible, and it's an awkward photo.
That's how we learned how to build in my family.
Yeah. Back to Scott Frost, though. Before you were interrupted, Brownie, I wanted to give you a chance to talk. What else LT was just talking about was the fact that Scott Frost, you said yesterday to Bruce Feldman, you thought he was getting on thin ice a little
Well, it
bit.
seems
in
that
Lincoln.
way, yeah.
And now that you've seen this scenario, do you feel like he's on a Jeremy Pruitt path to having to have a bigger season this year than what is expected of Nebraska?
I do. I mean, I'm with you, Jim. I think you follow these situations long enough, and you learn that when it starts to be time that some boosters are a little tired of the situation, these things happen. They leak these type of stories out instead of them getting covered up, and then it gets used if you need it to be used. So I think that's 100% what's happened. We saw it with Jeremy Pruitt. I think you've seen it with Scott Frost. I think this, not because of the NCAA investigation, because like Jim said, it's not that big a deal, but because it got leaked, I think this shows you how big a year this is for Scott Frost.
Well, again, it's one of the best fan bases out there, but if there's any NCAA investigation, even if it's a slap on the wrist, if I'm breaking rules, I want it to at least translate to wins. You know, when you're bending and breaking rules, like right now, Arizona State's got this cloud hovering over them. To this point, Herm Edwards has overachieved the expectations we thought when he went to Tempe.
Yeah.
Scott Frost has way underachieved. And if you're going to cheat, at least win.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. I mean, that's what, when you say Nebraska has been cheating, I'm like, really? I mean, like you said, it's not like SMU cheating.
Yeah, it's not egregious now.
Yeah.
So let's be
There's
honest.
no gold Trans Am.
Right. We're not giving out Trans Ams for players.
Before we pile on here, there's
Yeah.
a good chance that this is happening at 13 of 14
Right.
SEC
I mean,
schools
what
as we
is
speak.
the
Okay,
allegation?
it's not a major allegations, as I said to start with. Improper use of analysts and consultants in practices and in games. You're limited to the number of coaches who can actually coach, and the other guys have to be analysts and consultants and do their work back in the office. They can't be on the field. They can't be in the booth. They can't be on the sidelines doing things that help coach.
Well, they ain't helping.
Right, exactly, exactly. But the penalty could rise up to the level of Scott Frost being suspended games.
Yeah.
If it becomes something the NCAA thinks needs to happen. But they're cooperating with this investigation. I don't expect it to turn into too much. That is one of our headlines as we get going here. Segment number 1 on the next round, brought to you in part by our friends at Nichols.
Nichols Outfitters, Jim, knows it's time to head outdoors, and they want to help you for camping and outdoor essentials and accessories. There's really no better place to go than Nichols Outfitters there in Pelham. How about rooftop or ground tents, coolers and fridges, lighting equipment, and more? Nichols Outfitters has your answer for all of that, and the best customer service staff in all of Alabama. They help you make the most of the outdoors, and they're right there off exit 242, I-65 in Pelham. Visit them in-store or online, nicholsoutfitters.com.
More college football in the next round presented by Bud Light from our Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios right here in the 4th floor, Studio A in the Blue Lake Center. I will get back to college football later. Wimp Sanderson, though, is coming up in our next segment. For the first time in our new platform, Wimp will be here. There will be a time where hopefully we'll have Wimp in studio with us later on, but he'll join us on the phone in the next segment. We look forward to talking to Wimp and Tom Luginbill coming up to start hour number 2 today, 10 o'clock, if you're watching live with us today on YouTube or listening to us around the globe on our app. I wanted to ask you guys, if you thought the Atlanta Braves winning again, 5 straight now, they've won 12 of 14. Do you feel like the Braves are peaking at the right time? There are a lot of Braves fans in our neighborhoods, in our churches, in our communities, in our area. We just happen to be 3 guys who are not fans of the Atlanta Braves.
I grew up hating the Braves.
I like the Braves. I've never been a fan of the Braves, as passionate as most of our viewers and listeners are.
Yeah,
so do you feel like there is something to the fact that they are peaking at the right time heading towards September in the playoffs?
Well, I just thought it was a jinxed year when you blow that 3-1 lead. We talked about Atlanta and Georgia sports specifically, and after just having the meltdown against the Dodgers in the NLCS and what happened to Ozuna early on, and then Acuna, and the staff couldn't stay healthy, and it seemed like every time Will Smith rolled out there, although he pitches a perfect ninth last night for his 26th save, he has blown 4 this year. It didn't seem like it was going to come together. The good news for the Braves, something we mentioned a couple of days ago, is this clumped up NL East right now, where you've got 3 teams, Mets, Phillies, and Braves, separated by 4.5 games. But in that East, when you're able to win 12 of 14, that's a major surge.
Yeah, that's going to open up some games.
And the Braves are playing obviously extremely well right now, but you've still got a lot of games to go. You got 42 games to go, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know that they're peaking at the right. No, I don't. I mean, I think peaking at the right time would be later in September.
Like
they might be a month early peaking.
My Tampa team is red hot right now. They're red hot because they have beaten the Baltimore Orioles 13 of 14 games this year. I feel like the Braves. I feel like the Braves are sort of feasting at times on some really bad teams at this point in the season.
I don't know if there's any really bad teams. Beating the Marlins, and they'll go for the sweep today. I mean, the Marlins aren't a terrible team. They're 18 games under 500.
They're not the Orioles.
They're not the Orioles, right? You look at the Giants and the Dodgers. They can feast on what is the Arizona Diamondbacks. You look at the Brewers right now that we talked about. Kind of one of the surprises, by the way, the lock hit yesterday, 2-0 win there.
That's all.
They're feasting on a team like the Pirates, who currently 36 games under 500. There aren't terrible teams in the East. We thought the East would be really competitive. It has been competitive.
Yep. Kellen, on our Twitter feed at Next Round Live, we are peaking to be let down once again in November. Absolutely, says Kellen.
Yeah, I mean, does anybody here believe the Braves have got enough once we get to the postseason? I mean, again, you've got San Francisco. We were waiting for them to come back to reality. They're not. They're a good team.
I mean, I told you way back when the season started, I never thought there would be a time where the Dodgers wouldn't be in first place. Like, from day one, I thought the Dodgers would start on a 8-10 streak, and never a day would go by in this season where the Dodgers wouldn't be in first place.
Yeah, and I'll say this again, with 40-plus games left in this season, San Francisco is going to win this division.
I know.
They're up 4 games, and the Dodgers have won 7 consecutive NL West. Dodgers will lose the West. They'll come in second. They'll get one of the wild cards. I still think the Dodgers are the best team in baseball when it all comes together. But with the Giants, the Dodgers, my point, with the Brewers, even the Braves getting into the postseason, I don't think they've got
the
enough
Dodgers,
juice.
right?
Brooks
Good
in our
chance.
live YouTube chat, this is like the Nationals in 2019, in his opinion. Others, including Ben, saying, I thought the season was done after Acuna went down. I did too. Krusty, the Braves have a brutal schedule coming up. They need to win now. And Charles, sort of like Kellen, the Braves are teasing their own fans right now, just like every year. We all know where the season will end up. The Braves underachieving in the postseason. This from a Red Sox fan in 2000. We are supporting the local teams today. LT rocking the Barons hat, the local team. Smuff's noticing that. You got the Barons hat on. I like that hat.
Yeah, so Retro Brand is one of my favorite brands, and they still make some gear, but I guess they got crossed with the NHL and with the NBA and the NFL and all of college licensing. But for some reason, when the Barons opened Regions Field, when was that, by the way? 5 years ago?
Feels like it, yeah.
that first gift shop, they actually had a deal with Retro Sports, and they had this hat. And so I got me and Little Man one of these hats. I absolutely love this hat. I don't think you could find this hat anywhere. But, yes, it's a Barron's hat.
It's a good-looking hat there. I got the Birmingham Legion T-shirt on, the Anvil here. They're back home at BBVA Field coming up this Sunday as they continue to push for the playoffs. I think Tulsa is the team in town. 4 o'clock Sunday at BBVA Field. Go support the Legion. Got a big draw. Got a point on the road this past weekend. So Legion rolling on. And Brown?
I'm in a golf shirt.
Yeah.
I got the old Hunter Green plain T-shirt.
I'm in pretty much my standard uniform. I'm in a golf shirt.
Yeah.
No shorts.
Well, did
though. I
you
didn't
get
have a
it
shirt.
from a pro shop in Birmingham?
No.
Okay.
It's a golf course. Golf course just outside of Memphis.
It's got a feather on it.
It does. That's their logo.
Way to keep it local, Brown. Way to keep it local.
Southern.
That's what we do on Wednesday, local Wednesday here, unless you're Brown, who's just looking to get on the golf course a
Didn't
little bit
get the
later.
memo.
Did not get the memo.
You can always jump in and vote at Next Round Live on our Cowan Equipment poll question, LT. It comes to you several times throughout the day, brought to you by our great friends at Cowan Equipment. And yesterday we asked the question, and I'm still a fan of doing this, should LT ditch this technology, get rid of the laptop,
That won't happen.
and go back to just paper?
Well, I've got plenty of paper here, but I'm going to keep this for the copy points. Cowan Equipment, proud to partner with the Next Round on their new venture and would love the opportunity to partner with your company for your heavy equipment needs. Visit us, cowan.com, to find more about how we can be your heavy equipment solution, from rental to new equipment sales to superior service and parts. I'll ditch this if you guys get me a desktop in here.
That would look good.
Yeah, what a big old
Yeah.
monitor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's impossible to do a show without
Well, I mean, what's
any
the difference? The
technology.
desktop and the laptop are the same thing. We haven't
Yeah.
solved anything if we get you a desktop.
56% want him to ditch the laptop and go back to 1,000 papers.
Okay, well, it would be really hard to be able to pull anything on Wikipedia, anything on
Oh,
ESPN.
yeah. I forgot you
Yeah.
use the computer
Yeah.
for other
Yeah.
things than your copy points.
Yeah.
All right, so Wimp is coming up in just a few seconds as we roll to break here, break number one of this Wednesday show. I want to remind everybody, August 26th is our kickoff party coming at Walk-Ons right there off of Highway 280 and 119. We'll be at Walk-Ons later this afternoon enjoying a cold beverage and getting ready for the kickoff party. We'll be going over some X's and O's for that. And had people ask me yesterday, hey, what do I have to do to sign up to come to your kickoff party? LT, there's no sign up, right?
There's no sign up at all. And we will give details over the next week. It's just going to be a lot of people coming out, a lot of fun. Friends, family, listeners, viewers, clients. I mean, we're just looking forward to August 26th. And again, we'll give you more details. Redmont Vodka is going to be a big sponsor. We're trying to get some other people involved, but really looking forward to that party.
Yeah, we're just there for the good time.
Yeah.
Right?
And we're getting closer and closer to football season, because that will be, we'll actually have football next week.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all coming up August 26th off Highway 280, 119. If you're in the area or can make that drive, do that from 5 o'clock until close at Walk-Ons. When we come back, we'll talk a little college football and catch up with our man, Wimp Sanderson, who we haven't talked to in about 2 months or so.
Well, I have.
Unfortunately, I have too. Wimp is next on the next round.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations: Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
I can't say it simpler than this. Way to Wellness saved my life. I'm Jim Dunaway, and the Way to Wellness program helped me lose 45 pounds and get my blood pressure and cholesterol in check. You can do it too. Go to the website, aplanforme.com. No cookie cutter plan. Everything is designed for you. The program is overseen by board-certified professionals. There are no contracts, there are no sign-up fees, and you get a free consultation. The website is aplanforme.com. Tell them you want a plan like Jim. Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living.
If you're looking for a fun golf atmosphere that is laid back with a peaceful environment, the Meadows Golf Course in Harpersville, right off of Highway 280, is perfect for you. Just a short drive from Birmingham, this 18-hole, 200-acre track with rolling fairways and ample greens is the definition of peacefulness of the country, just miles from the city. Enjoy a great lunch before your round and a cocktail on the wraparound porch after 18. Come see us today. The Meadows Golf Course in Harpersville, right off of Highway 280. The next round kickoff party will be at Walk-Ons on August 26th. I'm Lance Taylor. Join the entire next round team starting at 5 p.m. We'll have food and drink specials from Walk-Ons and our friends at Redmont Vodka. The next round kickoff, Thursday night, August 26th at Walk-Ons off of Highway 280 on 119.
How do you know you're in a community, not just a town? Well, strangers smile as they walk by. They refill your coffee without you asking. And when you ask directions, people offer to walk you there. Communities give more. The way you know when you walk into First Bank that you are in a real community bank. Great products, direct access to your local bankers, and relationships that can last a lifetime. Don't just have an account. Have a community with First Bank. Member FDIC.
At ERA King Real Estate, they're empowered by technology and driven by community. What does that mean? It means you are the reason they have the most extensive training and the most innovative tools in the business. ERA King believes a culture focused on building value in their agents produces big value for their clients and their families. To find your agent, text MOVE to 35260. That's MOVE to 35260. ERA King, working hard to make home buying easy.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com. The latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com. That's nextroundlive.com. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Vulcan Tire and Automotive. 4 great locations right here in Birmingham. The team at Vulcan Tire and Automotive, they feel it's important for you to know they don't employ any salespeople or technicians that are incentivized with your commissions. When you are getting your vehicle serviced, the team is only incentivized to take care of you and your vehicle. That doesn't happen everywhere, but it does happen at Vulcan Tire and Automotive. Again, 4 locations right here in Birmingham, Hoover, Moody, Trussville, and Gardendale. For more information, Vulcan Tire and Auto.com. Hey, if you're looking for a local agent to handle all of your insurance needs, you need to call my good friend James Anthony at the James Anthony Agency, 205-985-7717. Hoover, Birmingham, Northport, and Tuscaloosa. Has been in business over 20 years. The James Anthony Agency.
The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the Next Round host a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and bourbon. Our weekly college football conversation while sipping some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world. And our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call. LT takes off the gloves for an in-depth conversation with stars like Taylor Hicks, presented by Redmont Vodka. Find those podcasts and more by searching The Next Round on Apple, Spotify, and on our website, nextroundlive.com.
Big shout out to Struggleville. I've been there before. Struggleville and everybody on Twitch. When will the guys recognize us on Twitch in the chat room? Well, there you go. Not as many of you rolling through as the YouTube Live, but we appreciate you watching on Twitch and YouTube Live as well as you guys keep going. Jay says, I'm ready for Wimp. I hope to hear the music too. The open will not be there, but we will have Wimp in just a second after LT tells you about the great folks with Michelson.
Yeah, I will tell you that chat that we're able to read, if I didn't have the 2015 vision from this vantage point, I don't think I'd be able to read it that clearly.
You know what is surprising is that I can even read that without my glasses, but I can't read a menu without my glasses. But I actually see that.
That's what we call farsightedness.
Yeah, I can actually see that better without my glasses on than with my glasses.
Well, you just diluted what I was talking about with 2015, but that's fine. But anyway, I see it crystal clear. I guarantee I see it better than Dunaway, and I'm about 5 feet to his left. Hey, look, to find out if LASIK is right for you, it has been over 19 years since I got it done. Again, when I went in, I literally had 2200 vision. I didn't realize that I was legally blind after the procedure, which took 12 minutes for both eyes. 2015 vision, better than 2020. Call 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, who performed my surgery, or Dr. Jen Michelson. Fantastic. Call Michelson Laser Vision today. You can also go online, michelsonlaservision.com. Michelson Laser Vision changed my life. They possibly do it the same for you. Call them today, 969-8100.
The coach, Wimp Sanderson, joins us. Well, I guess every week we can say that now, right? And he does so courtesy of our friends at Crane Works. Hello, Coach. How are you?
I'm doing okay. After I got that same deal that LT got, and after looking at you 3 guys, I'm not sure I should have gotten it. Two of you guys look like death eating a cracker, Have y'all been eating good since you've been off the show?
Which two?
Which two of us?
I'm not going to name them.
Yeah.
Oh, Dunaway and who?
Dunaway has gone bald.
Yep.
And Dunaway, but on Dunaway's behalf, and I appreciate Craneworks having me on, David having me on, but Dunaway is, I think, lost his stomach, and I'm very proud of him for that.
Dunaway, Jim.
Wow, you've lost your stomach.
Wow.
Haven't lost my.
Hadn't you lost 30 pounds?
I had lost 45 pounds, but over the last 60 days, we've eaten a lot of really fast sandwiches.
I don't like the word "had."
Yeah, well, I've gained six back.
No reason for that.
Well, I mean, I'm getting back I'm back into a routine, Coach, and I apologize. I'm sure you had, I'm sure you had some athletes.
Here I am coming on the show bragging on you.
No.
Take it.
You tell me, did this ever happen? Okay, you had a team that when they left and went home for a few days, did a couple of them ever come back a little out of shape?
Yeah, they probably did.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's what has happened to me.
Marcus
What your scenario is.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. I went home. I've come back I'm a little out of shape. You got to run me a little bit today. Run me a little bit, get me back into shape. That's what I want you to do.
Okay. All right. You guys got anything particular you want to talk about?
Well, we know you do, so you can jump right into it, and then we can circle back to you.
Well, I don't really have anything particular to talk about.
It's been a great show so far.
I'll say this: the style of the coaches in Miami and Alabama is a little bit different in that Miami's bragging on how good their quarterback is and how good they go and play, how well they've done in practice. The last press conference that Coach had, he said nothing. He's great at saying nothing. He's terrific at doing that, and he's smart in doing that. And so, everybody's the 63 votes that they got to be number one by the coaches poll was a little bit astonishing to me, but I don't want to get into that particularly. If y'all want to mention anything about that, we can. If you don't, we'll step over to.
I've got a ton of questions for you, so I will start this off right here.
I've got one to follow Dunaway.
Yeah, as we get closer to the college football season, you will have blue plate specials, and I look forward to that. This point in this season, what are you looking for? What do you look at to prepare to be really good in the blue plate special? Like in the old days, I looked at experienced quarterbacks coming back, Wimp, but that doesn't seem to bother teams anymore, in my opinion. Do you really factor in experienced quarterbacks anymore, or have we just seen inexperienced quarterbacks win all the time now to where it's not that big of a stat anymore?
Well, I had a good run last year. It's very hard for me. I don't know how LT feels about it because he picks one too. But early in the year, I listen a great deal to what the coaches say about their teams. Although I know some of them, pour them out of you a little bit, trying to find out. And even though the quarterback situation is, to me is a factor. I look at just about everything. I look at all the people that they lost. Where the line is. I think the confusing line for me right now, without deciding what I want to do with it, is 3.5 points. Georgia's a dog. But I try to look at a little bit of all of it. We got 4 new coaches in the league. They, in some ways, were quite different on the podium, so you couldn't tell a great deal about that at the day at the hotel. I just kind of look at what these guys have. If I use one of those games as a blue plate, it's a little bit confusing to me because I don't know how they're going to do. So I look at a little bit of all of it and listen to what the coaches say. The quarterback is important still, and so it's kind of a mixture of things for me. And doing it early in the year is a little bit tougher to me than as you can kind of compare scores.
Speaking of quarterbacks and coaches, we did a segment yesterday. One team that was not in their conference championship game that we would guarantee would be there in 2021. The team for me out of the ACC, because obviously Notre Dame is not going to be in a conference championship this year, was North Carolina. And you look at the combination of Mack Brown and Sam Howell, and to me, look, you were one of the great recruiters back in the day. But the job Mack Brown did to get Sam Howell to flip his commitment to Florida State to North Carolina, That changed everything. I mean, I can't even imagine where North Carolina would be if Sam Howell would have gone to Florida State.
Well, they got a lot of good players, but I think you're right. That one flip was a huge flip. I think the question for me for North Carolina is defensively. I think they give up a bunch of points. I think they're supposed to be better, but I think they're okay. Offensively, they're going to score a bunch of points. They're going to be a team that's going to be reckoned with. I think Florida State is going to be better in that league. Clemson's going to run away with it probably. The rest of them are Miami. I don't know. I don't want to say good team, good name, bad team, but then a bad team. They're very talented. Quarterback's very good. So North Carolina is darn good. I just don't know how good they are LT defensively.
The coach.
Do you agree to that or not?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I think that was one of the big problems. And they're losing a lot of production offensively, but the way that offense was dialed in, I agree with you. I think the defense, it's almost Ole Miss light. I mean, Ole Miss, we know offensively they can go out and they can beat anyone on that side of the ball, but the defense has got to get better if you were going to contend for a conference championship.
You know, I think there are about 4 or 5 teams that I think about they can beat you if you're not ready to play. And believe you me, after a couple of 3 games that you win, you got and some coaches have to shake their team to get them ready to play because they think it's so darn good. Ole Miss can beat you if you're not ready to play. Florida State can beat you if you're not ready to play. Arkansas can beat you if you're not ready to play. And probably Georgia Tech can beat you if you're not ready to play. I think about those schools. You know, you got to be ready to play every time, but those schools are good enough to beat you if you don't play.
The coach, Wimp Sanderson, joins us each week. He does so courtesy of our friends at Craneworks. I can't remember. It's been a couple months since we've talked to you about name, image, and likeness. I don't think you like it. Did you like, though, as a coach, if you're Kirby Smart, what JT Daniels reportedly has done? He has signed some very big deals, but he also plans to share at least half of those, reportedly, with his teammates. And as a coach, I know I don't think like the name, image, and likeness, but as a coach, if you're going to have to deal with it, at least you got one of your team leaders doing it that way.
You're darn right. That's a good idea. I didn't know that. Is he not the one that's getting $100 for every autograph?
He is.
Yeah, that is him, yes.
I think he's got to deal with Zaxby's and who was the other one?
Okay.
There's several deals he's got.
Yeah. Well, as good as he needs to be in order to play well, he better be giving more of them to the offensive line.
Yeah.
And that's who he needs to give them to, and I think that's fine.
By the way, we see that happen all the time in the NFL, Coach. I mean, all the time in the NFL, successful quarterbacks like Bradley Bozeman was on the show one time, and he told us Lamar Jackson, I think it was a Rolex watch, he gave every offensive lineman. So, I mean, everybody talks about, how's it going to go when the quarterback's getting all the money? Well, and the way they handle that in the NFL is doing exactly what JT Daniels does.
Well, I'll admit to you, all 3 of you, I think it's gone over better than I thought.
Yeah.
BYU's I think it has, and I think it will. As we go through, it will die down a little bit. If you're a big name quarterback or going to be a big name quarterback, and you've got a lot of things going, there's a little bit more pressure on you to do well because your people will drop you. But I do think it's gone a little bit. The transfer rule is terrible, but this is not the show to do that with. But I would say to you that it hasn't taken a back seat. We talk about it some, and there are things that happen behind the scenes that we don't talk about at all. But I would say that it's gone better than I thought it would go. And
well, see, since you're being honest there, I'll be honest. I'll flip around on you. You're being honest because I like the NIL and you didn't like it, and you say it's going better. I will throw myself at the mercy of the Wimp court and say the transfer portal is not going as well as I thought it would go, and you were right about that. So how about that?
Yeah, I think and I had something to tell you, and I ended up forgetting what I wanted to say about that. But
well, you were going to say you were right. Well, that's what you were going to say. Dunaway, you were wrong, and I was right.
I'm not getting on here doing this first show and telling them I'm right about particularly anything. We just kind of hashing it over, and we're seeing. I'll tell you what I wanted to say. The thing that excites me the most, really excites me, is college baseball.
What?
Having an opportunity to be even with the Vanderbilts and the people who are getting the Hope Scholarship.
Yeah. On the NIL, yeah.
If you can if you can raise money now, get out and raise money to have 30 scholarships rather than 11 and a half, and to be able to compete against the Vanderbilts and the other people who get in the Hope scholarships for baseball. I guess I'm a little bit prejudiced because I got a grandson that's a good baseball player. So it would thrill me. Of course, now Mississippi State's going to run off with it. They're going to be able to sell more stuff. Their kids, so they'll get any player they want in there now because they're baseball oriented so much. But I think it's really going to help baseball.
Well, since you bring up baseball, I want to bring up basketball. We haven't talked to you in forever. In Oklahoma and Texas coming to the SEC, everybody's focused on football. I think Texas will be middle of the pack. Again, we'll get into this in the next couple of weeks. But basketball-wise, hiring Chris Beard, I think he's one of the best coaches right now in college basketball. Porter Moser, one of your former assistants, coming from Loyola to Oklahoma now. I think those two teams may be a bigger factor in the SEC race in basketball.
I would agree. I think Porter's got some work to do. I think Texas has some guys back and got some guys coming in, and so they're going to be very, very good. Not only in the SEC, but they're going to be good nationally. And Porter will have a little bit more difficult time, but he's a good coach. So it'll be big. It'll be big, and the biggest problem that you have is schedule. You don't keep up the schedule the way I did. I'm a big schedule. You had a rule where you played 3 teams twice. They changed it this year in the SEC, and you play 5 teams twice, which is a total of 10 games, and then you play 4 on the road and 4 at home. And so you look at the 5 teams Alabama plays. They added their 2 adds were Kentucky and Missouri. So they've always had Auburn, Mississippi State, and LSU. So that's their 2 adds. So it'd be interesting to see. The schedule is going to be somewhat complicated, and we'll see what happens there.
I wanted to ask you, and I think our viewers and listeners would appreciate knowing this. How close did you ever come to having to put a fraternity boy or a manager or anybody like that into a uniform to help with practice? Everyone has seen what South Carolina is doing with their quarterback situation. Their grad assistant, Zeb Nolan, is being called out at least to help practice. And the coach has said if he's good enough, he's going to get playing time. But they got to have enough quarterbacks to practice. So that's why he's going to put on the uniform first. Did you ever get into a situation where you had to dress a grad assistant, a manager, or anything in practice to have a good drill?
Yeah, we did. We dressed a manager a couple of times to have a good halfway look. A guy that had played basketball in high school, but was managing for us. We did that a couple of times. I hate for Shane Beamer. I like him so much, and hope he can do well. And he's going to have a hard time in that opening game. But yeah, we did that some. We had some managers that played a little bit, and I had some great managers, and they could do about anything that they need to do.
Okay, final question for me, Wimp. More ridiculous that Dunaway ate a banana with an entire peel on it yesterday. I don't know if you saw this or heard about it.
Yeah.
Or the fact that the Cleveland Indians are going to be the Cleveland Guardians next year.
Oh, the Cleveland! I ordered every visor I could buy.
Oh, the visor.
I bought the visor. Jim got me the coat.
It was a windbreaker, yeah. It was such a nice gift.
I bought a red visor with an Indian on it. I bought a white visor with the word Indians on it in the front. The Guardians. Let me tell you something. You think about all the money, and I'm not against Indians. I'm on this show, but you think of all the money they make at Atmore, gambling, and they keep it. And they keep the money. The Indians, maybe we took part of their land away from them, but they're getting part of it back too. And so, it bothers me. 1915. I've got a 1950 yearbook here. I hope is very, very valuable, and I hope my kids won't throw it away. And I saw the other day, to change the subject, Hornets Wagner card.
Yeah.
I've got one with Hornets Wagner and Ty Cobb and all those guys on a picture, and I can't name them. My granddaddy played. They came to Florence, but I can't. I don't know how to name it. If I name this thing, it'd be worth a fortune.
Don't know how to help you on that one.
Yeah, that Honus Wagner card, $6.6 million.
Yeah, that's what you need is the Honus Wagner card.
Yeah, I ain't got one.
Okay.
I ain't got one, guys.
Hey, so
y'all going good?
Yeah, everything's wonderful. How about you?
Good.
Welcome in.
We're fine.
Are you going to do a blue plate next week?
No, I'll do it the Thursday
Okay.
before the first game.
All right.
Oh, remember we always give you a free chance
Yeah, we'll
on
give you-
week
yeah,
zero. We
week
don't
zero.
count it. We don't count it if it's a loss.
Like hitting range balls.
Of course,
Okay.
yeah. Next week is week zero. Yeah.
Well, that next week is not the week I'm going to give it. I was going to give it the first week.
Just do a warm up. A little warm up next week. Look
If
at
you-
the
if you
week
get it
zero
right,
guide.
it counts. If you don't get it
That's
right,
right.
it's just practice.
Yeah, it's a free one.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You're
Y'all
welcome.
guys are so nice to me. Yeah, it's
I
unbelievable.
know. I mean, the listeners are already saying you're way too nice to us on the new platform here. So.
This will die out.
I know it will.
Yeah.
This platform,
not the platform,
or
but
our conversation with you.
You being nice to us.
Will you come by studio and sit in with us some when we get when we finish building everything out? I mean, we're only about 50% complete right now. We've got a lot more to do. Will you come by when we're finished?
Sure, I'll come by sometime. Yeah.
Okay. We're like 10 minutes from your house, literally.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Y'all
So,
have something to eat.
oh, we'll have something to eat. We'll plan lunch that day. He is the coach.
I need to mention Craneworks.
I'm setting you up for it. I know. He's the coach.
It's like you've never been on with us.
Yeah,
before.
we didn't forget how to do this. He's the coach, Wimp Sanderson, and he joins us each week courtesy of Craneworks.
Well, David Upton and Craneworks is certainly. I appreciate them being our sponsor, and they got a bunch of salesmen and equipment operators that can help you with any project that you need to undertake. They've got a rental works division that has everything from a chainsaw to skid steers, and you can call Chip Howard at 796-8590, and Craneworks will do anything for you that you need done, and they got the equipment to do it. Appreciate you guys having me on today, and I'll talk to you next week.
All right, Wimp, love you.
We'll talk about that later.
All right, thank you, Coach. That's the Coach Wimp Sanderson with us each
Close.
week.
Wow.
I love you. He's with us courtesy of Craneworks. Look for the big dog.
Did Wimp sound like he wasn't sure he was giving the right phone number right
Yes,
there?
very much so. Rockstar.
Or name.
796.
His laptop probably died.
2, 3, 4.
I didn't know they would rent you a chainsaw, did you?
He said that. He said that.
Have you ever used a chainsaw, Lance? I know your neighbor has.
No.
I did one time. A couple times. I used a couple times.
A great idea coming in from Periscope from Ben. Free double down swag and free blue plate picks coming up. Why not a blue plate T-shirt in our swag store? And the store's coming soon at nextroundlive.com, and you can have T-shirts like LT has on right now. Trash. We got a landmine.
Yeah, and on the back, look.
It's got the logo.
You stepped right out of the camera.
The
Little
next
lift.
round- yeah,
Right
there you go. There you go. Right in it. The
right
next
into it.
logo. The next round logo. Yeah, we can do that. We can do a blue plate shirt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure, the proceeds will Wimp.
We'll check and make sure we can, but we're going to say right now we can, 100%. Part of our show, though, being brought to you by Standard for Insurance Agency.
Jim, having great insurance is super important. You know that. And rates.
Coach told me that once.
Coach told you that one time. Rates lowering 4 times last 12 months. That means great time to call Jessup Standifer and the Standifer Insurance Group. They have been serving the Southeast for more than 20 years. I am a customer. Jim is a customer. I can tell you how happy I am with Standifer Insurance. They have the right products and the right prices to earn your business. Call them today, 205-664-3200, or on the web, standiferinsuranceGroup.com.
The cook. Now, if a cook comes onto our YouTube live chat and says, do you have 4XL? Does it make you want to eat at his restaurant more or less? For me, it's more. We'll make that a Cowan Equipment poll question. The cook says, do you have 4XL? I want to eat at his restaurant.
That's right. Sounds
I'll
like
be
he's got
honest
good
with you.
dessert. Yeah.
We are back on the next round after this.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
If you owe back taxes and are looking for a way out, I've got the answer. This is Jim Dunaway, and I've seen what ignoring IRS tax problems can do. There is hope, and it starts by calling my friend Perry Cronin with Axiom Tax Resolution Group. Let me explain two things. One, the IRS is starting to take the gloves off again post-pandemic. That means they are getting more aggressive with their collection efforts. Don't fall victim to liens and garnishments. Call Perry Cronin today. The second thing is this. Don't call some national 1-800 number. This is too important for you to be just some other number. Perry and his daughter Teresa Cronin are tax professionals right in our area. You'll meet with them face to face and they'll give you a free consultation. Call 205-872-1100. That's 205-872-1100. Or the website, 205tax.com. Perry Cronin can show you there's hope when dealing with the IRS. Visit 205tax.com.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who miss the fairway all day and still pull out the big stick, the type of guys who will always prefer to be behind the grill than in front of the camera, and the men who never let their friends forget about a high school nickname. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
The next round is sponsored by Mortgage Right. Looking to purchase or refinance a home? Act now before rates go on the rise. With locations nationwide lending directly to home buyers. Our friends at Mortgage Right removed the speed bumps on the road to home ownership by cutting out the middleman, ensuring a fast, worry-free process. When it comes to mortgages, don't drive blind. Let the experts take the wheel. Visit MortgageRight.com to get started. That's the right way to do a mortgage. MortgageRight.com. NMLS ID 2239. Equal housing lender.
Think about this scenario for 1 second. You get out of bed in the morning, walk in a room, the first thing you feel is water under your feet. You got a leak, you got a problem. You may think your first call is the insurance company. You're wrong. Ryan Brown here from the next round. Your first call is DryTech Water Restoration. They respond quickly. They'll reply within 20 minutes. Likely, you're talking to an owner. DryTech Water Restoration does not work for the insurance company. They work for the customer. Remember this website, mydrytech.com. That's mydrytech.com and DryTech Water Restoration.
Let's kick off the college football season together. Join us Thursday night, August 26th at Walk-Ons off 280 and 119. I'm Jim Dunaway. The entire team from the next round will be there starting at 5 p.m. The next round kickoff will have great food and drink specials from Walk-Ons and our friends at Redmond Vodka, plus our magnet schedules, souvenir cups, and logo t-shirts while they last. A great way to watch that opening Thursday night lineup of college football. It's August 26th from 5 until close. The next round kickoff at Walk-Ons.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters, it's the will to prepare to win." Bryant bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that's right for you. Stop by one of the 7 Central Alabama locations today or give them a call at 1-855-4-BRYANT to begin preparing for your financial future today. You'll find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about. Bryant Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Now more than ever, American-made, Alabama-made means something, and that is what you get at Royal Bedding on Highway 31 in Pelham, Birmingham's only mattress factory where they make the mattress in Pelham and sell them 19 feet away in the showroom. Tom, Ginger, and TJ Vignale have been providing Alabamians with a great night's sleep for over 30 years. See their work at RoyalBeddingInc.com. I sleep in a Royal Bedding mattress, and so does my mom and dad. Stop by and feel the difference on Highway 31 in Pelham, or go to RoyalBeddingInc.com.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com. The latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com. That's nextroundlive.com.
Okay, you're going to see how it works behind the scene if you're watching on YouTube live. LT is about to tell us about Cowan Equipment, a poll question that I will literally send out while LT is telling you about Cowan Equipment.
Hey,
magical.
You're having a hard time finding that new plastic on the seat piece of heavy equipment? Check out Cowan Equipment's rental fleet hit list for a wide range of well-maintained equipment from our rental fleet for sale now. Visit cowan.com/featured #used equipment or call 800-239-COWAN for more information.
Is it slash or hash?
#/ I don't know. I'm just trying to read this. First time I've ever read this copy.
Rockstar, did you did you foresee a world where Wimp would do a better live read than Lance?
Well, it wasn't a bad read. I just don't know if it's a hash or a slash.
Well, read it again, I'll tell you.
Visit Cowan.com / featured # used # equipment / or call us.
Wait, what language are you speaking?
Jesus, I'm just reading what he's got here.
I think you copied and pasted and a hash got thrown in there.
Oh, maybe so. I didn't copy and paste it. Trust me.
Yeah, that's what
You know why?
I threw off my day yesterday.
I don't know how.
Because I don't know how.
Somebody copied and pasted that.
Hey, somebody put up there, Dunaway never needs a potty break, which is true. I don't know if it's you love just being on the camera or you got a diaper on.
I do wear a
I love
diaper.
that those are the two possibilities.
I do wear a diaper.
Well, 4 hours he's sitting up here drinking nonstop.
I go to the bathroom one time during the show because, in full disclosure, when we were, we needed a certain perfect office space to build this out. Well, we found it here. But due to expenses, we were using the bathrooms that are provided in the hallways. And it is, down the hall here of Double Down Media, out the door, past the elevator.
Do you go right or left, by the way?
And you go left or right. Doesn't matter.
Same way either way.
It is 47 steps left or right either way.
Wow. I didn't realize it was the exact. I thought it was close to the exact, but I didn't know it was 47. But I'm saying when you go.
So why do you not go?
Do you go right or left?
I go right.
I go right before the show. I go about halfway through the show, and I go a lot after the show. But
do you take a left or a right?
I go right every time. I go right every time.
Because Brandon's one of our employees, and he always goes left. I go right, too.
Yeah,
I go left all the time.
Okay.
I always go right. I don't know why I chose right to start with. I went right. But I would tell you, the reason I don't go, for everyone watching, the reason I don't go to the bathroom during the commercials, either one of you, what do we do in this segment?
Oh, I have no idea.
I wanted to talk about Kool-Aid.
It doesn't matter because the point guard. He's got to put everything.
I got to know what we got to do.
All you got to do is when we come in 2 seconds before, we've got topics ready to roll. This is what we're going to do because so now that we don't know though.
That's right.
Yeah, you don't.
I want to talk about Kool-Aid Mckinstry.
Another big NIL.
Yeah, this is a good one though. So, JaQuincy McKinstry, who played at Pinson and went by the name Kool-Aid, by the way, at Pinson. This is not something new.
He did. Jason Campbell yesterday said on our show, if he was at Auburn, he would have called the Campbell Soup guys and said,
right.
let's ride.
Perfect fit.
So, per Kool-Aid's Twitter bio, he and the brand have go do a partnership. In honor of our new partnership, we swapped names with Kool-Aid McKinstry and given him the power of "oh yeah," is what @Kool-Aid says right now. And McKinstry says, honored to partner with Kool-Aid, the brand. I will be sharing the "oh yeah" title with the Kool-Aid man. Dude's he's had this Kool-Aid name for a long, long time and is now going to cash in on it. I mean, this is...
Kool-Aid is not what it once was because there's so many different varieties of drinks out there. But there was a day where there was just an entire aisle was Kool-Aid.
In honor of this, if we had interns, I would say let's go get... some packets of Kool-Aid. Let's mix some right here and enjoy it today. That would be really good on our visuals. We'll do that someday.
I used to love it back in the day. I think everybody as kids liked it.
I like the red.
I like the variety of it. But my great aunt Frances used to make the Kool-Aid with like the sugar free. It was awful.
Yeah.
When you had to have the sugar Kool-Aid was the only way to go.
Another thing, if I remember the story correctly, is she the one that didn't have a lid for her pitcher? She just put the
aluminum foil.
The
foil
and it tasted like rat poison.
Or the saran wrap, yeah.
Or the saran wrap.
Yeah, did you
and she would save her aluminum foil.
Did you ever eat it like Fun Dip?
No.
I did. Yeah,
it was bitter. Yeah, it was not as good as Fun Dip. Like you would have thought, like when you were a kid, you didn't have the Fun Dip. You would have thought
Pixie Sticks.
Yeah, well, you would have thought the Kool-Aid thing was like Fun Dip, not.
The part of this endorsement deal, I don't think it's politically correct to say, "Hey, are you drinking the Kool-Aid?" Right?
I know we use that a lot.
We do.
I mean, a lot of people
we
died.
know the origin of that, right?
I mean, if I'm Kool-Aid McKinstry, anytime I make a play, I run in and look at the camera and go, "Are you drinking the Kool-Aid?"
No, I'd go in. He's got to go now, probably, and go. Oh yeah!
Oh yeah!
Wait, was that Randy Macho Man Savage? Oh yeah!
No, I tell you who looks like the Kool-Aid man
all time.
Greatest wrestler of all time, Randy Macho Man.
Visualize this on the sideline on a Sunday. Andy Reid and his all-red Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, because he looks like the jug of Kool-Aid.
He looks like the Kool-Aid man. Yeah. Like if Andy Reid ran through a wall, he could pull it off. Kool-Aid man used to go through the wall. You guys remember that?
Oh,
right?
I do. Yeah, he would come through. I'm thirsty.
Hey, Tom Luginbill is standing by in our virtual green room. We'll get to him next. Our next round is presented by Bud Light, and we're from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino studio. Every Wednesday is brought to you by our friends at Bromberg's. We'll tell you about Bromberg's coming up a little bit later on in the show. Don't forget you can go and download Joel Clapp, Marty Smith, and others in our podcast center right now at nextroundlive.com.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
Hey, for the best pizza in Birmingham for lunch or dinner, make it Slice. Go see the Bajalia brothers, Jeff, Jason, and Chris. Slice Pizza and Brew is as local as you can get, from the ingredients that go into every pizza to the beer on tap. 2 great locations, Lakeview and Vestavia.
After 40 years in business, Red Wing Shoes owner Steve Sikora has decided to give his stores a needed up-to-date look. The Hoover location now welcomes its customers to enjoy the ultimate fit experience. This updated showroom is now displaying the best Red Wing has to offer. Classic Pecos pull-ons, Red Wing heritage including the Iron Ranger, Irish Setter work, and trusted Basque outdoor footwear. And coming this September, the Trustful location will be moving down Highway 11 between Taco Mama and Metro Diner. Customers will love this updated cool look. Don't wait to visit the 2 new and exciting locations of Red Wing Shoes.
That sound means someone got great advice. Always have a good plumber on standby. For me, that is Iron Mountain Drains and Plumbing. Jeremy Purvis and his team can handle commercial and residential plumbing needs, and they give you free quotes. 205-516-4927 or ironmountainworld.com. They handle all your plumbing and jetter services. They'll do everything from drips to new fixtures, and they are licensed, bonded, and insured. ironmountainworld.com. Just drain it.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at HydroLife Therapy. Boost your immune system today with HydroLife Therapy. IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, and compression therapy, all under one roof. Mention Next Round at checkout. Save 20% off any service at the Birmingham and Tuscaloosa locations. If you're unable to make it to HydroLife, a nurse can actually come to your home or office. You can visit them online today, hydrolifetherapy.com. HydroLife Therapy open 7 days a week. Homewood 9 to 6 and Tuscaloosa 10 to 6.
Let's kick off the college football season together. Join us Thursday night, August 26th at Walk-Ons off 280 and 119. I'm Jim Dunaway. The entire team from the Next Round will be there starting at 5 p.m. The Next Round kickoff will have great food and drink specials from Walk-Ons and our friends at Redmond Vodka, plus our magnet schedules, souvenir cups, and logo t-shirts while they last. A great way to watch that opening Thursday night lineup of college football. It's August 26th from 5 until close. The Next Round kickoff at Walk-Ons.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round. You've heard me for years talk about our friends at Bromberg's Jewelers, and we welcome you to stop by and see that great customer service at the Mountain Brook and Summit locations, but we'd also love for you to check out their new online shop. They've got plenty to choose from. Great gifts, big and small. Available online, they've got David Yurman, Tudor watches, select diamond and gemstone jewelry, William Henry, seasonal and favorite giftware items, and baby gifts as well. They've even got an online sale section. For more information, brombergs.com. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Take a second to listen to me. Do you have problems sleeping? Is your energy down? Your workouts not the same? Is your libido down? Your problem could be as simple as low testosterone. Whatever the challenge, the Alabama Men's Clinic has a solution. You can come in, get a medical consultation and blood work. If medically advised and you start your low T treatments that day in the office, your visit is free. Set up that appointment by calling 205-598-7000 or go to the website alabamamensclinic.com. Another side effect could be depression, and most men wait a year or longer before ever getting tested. The goal line to better sleep, more energy, a rekindled love life, and more may be as simple as getting your low T checkup at Alabama Men's Clinic. Located in Birmingham to serve you. The number again, 205-598-7000 or one click at alabamamensclinic.com. That's alabamamensclinic.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
And your headlines starting off this hour before we get to Tom Luginbill. Mississippi State losing a playmaker this year. Defensive end Jordan Davis tore his ACL. Word comes out yesterday. Happened in the scrimmage. Four-star guy, JUCO guy who is coming in and was supposed to really take a step forward on that defense this year at Mississippi State, which should be pretty good. But Davis is out for the season. Scott Frost is under investigation with the NCAA, according to a Brett McMurphy report. Not egregious, though. Improper use of analysts and consultants. They could rise up, though, to the fact of Frost being suspended a game or two. Later in the show, you'll hear from Slade Bolden and John Samuel Schinker from Alabama and Auburn practices. Austin Riley's 26th home run last night. Braves won their 5th straight. Those headlines brought to you, and today's show brought to you in part by our friends at Bromberg's.
Hey, family owned and operated since 1836, Bromberg's has established a solid reputation as a fine purveyor of quality diamonds as well as jewelry, timepieces, and gifts. Bromberg's also has an extensive giftware department to service the registries of brides and grooms in the Birmingham area. Go see our friends at Bromberg's today. 2 great locations, Mountain Brook and the Summit. You can also view their online store today at brombergs.com.
All right, ESPN's Tom Luginbill joins us now. You can follow him at Tom Luginbill on Twitter. He is always good to talk football, TV, movies, recruiting, all of that with us. Luke's, what is up, man? How are you?
I'm good, guys. It's a new endeavor. I mean, I'm seeing the logos, the studio, the backdrop. Looks pretty comfy. I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, we are too. We are too. You when you're in town, you'll come sit on the couch, though. You haven't seen the couch.
Oh, no, I won't sit on it. I'll lay on it.
That's true. Could Luginbill lay on the Lego chair and do it?
And we'll give you a cold Bud Light. You know, our presenting sponsor is Bud Light, and we've got a fridge stocked full.
Well, let me tell you something. I might just move to Birmingham.
We're speaking Luke's language now.
I mean, let's talk turkey.
Hey, let me ask you this. So we talked, and I remember we were sitting on my couch during the pandemic, and we were talking about quarterbacks for the upcoming season, and this is forever ago. And you're high on Matt Corral, and you're talking about Matt Corral could possibly be the first quarterback taken in the NFL draft based on how this season plays out. But if I asked you right now, because there's a lot of good quarterbacks coming back for 2021, if I asked you one quarterback, one game, would you go Corral with the turnover problems, or would you go another direction?
I would probably go Spencer Rattler, just because of what you said right there. If you're just talking one game. But, if we see the type of improvement that I'm expecting on the turnover front with Matt Corral, I think he's the most gifted, talented guy that we are going to see in college football at quarterback. And, again, can't turn over the football. We all know that. They've got to be better on defense. There's a lot of components that are going to have to come into play that will help Matt Corral. But if he takes care of the ball, I think he's special.
You know, you got to watch out because Herb Street is on the Matt Corral big rising star bandwagon. You were there
everybody's on it now.
You were there way before him, but I saw him yesterday on SportsCenter, and that's what he was trumpeting there. I want to ask you about something else Herb Street was talking about earlier this week is just the experience at quarterback. I asked this to Wimp last hour on the show, and I'll ask it to you. There was a time every year before the season would start, I would look at experience at quarterback coming back, and those were teams I would expect a lot out of. And there are still certain teams with Rattler and Corral and Sam Howell and JT Daniels, those teams that does factor in. But we see so much success from first-time starters. Hope for guys like Uiagalelei and Bryce Young and those guys that they can win championships. Why has it become not easier, but successful for first-time starters to win championships in college football? Does it have to do with the style of offense, or are these guys just better prepared, or a combination of all those things?
I think they're better prepared once they make the leap, but I think most importantly, maybe more so than anything else, the players around them. I mean, and I don't want to knock Mac Jones here, but if Mac Jones goes to Kentucky, where he originally committed out of high school, does anybody think he ends up being a first-round draft choice?
No.
So I think that has a lot to do with it. The personnel around you, the realization as a young player that you don't have to do it all by yourself, play within yourself, grow, mature, and then there's going to come a moment where you're going to have to take the reins of the offense and you're going to have to win a game. I think that's hard for young guys to do, but if you develop throughout the course of the year, you get better each and every week, then yeah, I think that I don't know if I agree with Kirk to the point where it's not a factor anymore. I still think it is a factor. You got to have a quarterback. If you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a chance. But you're not seeing a bunch of first-year starters or a bunch of true freshmen playing at programs that are 4-8, 6-6, just hitting the ground running. So it is, in my opinion, very personnel-based.
I was asked this question the other day. ESPN's Tom Luginbill is with us, and it was hard for me to give an answer. Unfortunately, I was asked on live TV, so that was a bad time not to have an answer. But I was asked the question, what change will Bill O'Brien make to the Alabama offense? And my thought process, Luke, was what change could he make? I mean, A, why would you change anything?
Yeah.
But guys have got to operate to their comfort level. So what could he change? What could you see differently from what Lane Kiffin to Brian Dable to Michael Oxley to Steve Sarkisian? What could you see differently under Bill O'Brien?
More pocket movement potentially, because I'm not convinced that Bryce Young is necessarily at his best throwing from within the confines of the pocket. He's small. He's on the shorter side. I think getting him out and moving and giving him a clear level of the field to be able to view and to make things happen, run or pass, could be advantageous for them. That could be maybe a wrinkle that they utilize with him more so than they would have with Tua or Mac or even a Blake Sims or whoever it may be. It's going to be interesting. I'm very interested to watch Bryce because I think I've shared this with you guys before. One of the things that I was curious about with him coming out of high school is you rarely had to see him make difficult throws into tight windows versus tight coverage to intermediate and deep levels of the field. They were so superior to everybody else that almost all the clips when you watched him, he's showing the guys that are wide open. And so how he makes that transition to having to make some really, top-tier second and third level throws down the field may dictate what Bill O'Brien has to do with him. And again, he's attempted 23 passes. Still a lot we don't know. I agree with you. If it's not broke, don't fix it if you're Bill O'Brien. But I think he's going to have to put some wrinkles in there that suit the quarterback and try and accentuate his strengths.
Luginbill, we previewed the Oregon Ducks in our 40 and 40 yesterday. And it was always strange to me that Tyler Shuck took off and went to Texas Tech. But Mario Cristobal's got really good running backs coming back. He's got good receivers coming back. Is Anthony Brown going to be the guy?
I think initially Anthony Brown is going to be the guy. I don't think that they have made the strides with Ty Thompson and some of the other reserves that have pushed them enough to feel like there's truly a competition there. My concern with Anthony Brown is, can he stay healthy? During his time at Boston College, he would show, some strength and some flashes, but then he'd get hurt. And so you couldn't depend on him being there all the time. And I think that's a team. A lot of people are looking at that team and saying, okay, well, maybe this is finally a unit that could compete for a college football playoff, but it's also a team that you have questions about the most important position in football. So I'm really curious to see how they play out. I really think offensively that Joe Moorhead's one of the best in the business. I think he's really good, particularly with the RPO game. So they'll get the best out of Anthony Brown. Question is, will they get him for a full season without getting banged up?
Brooks on our YouTube live chat says, I honestly think Matt Corral cuts out the turnovers, so he agrees to you, and that defense is getting better at Ole Miss as well. Tom Luginbill is with us from ESPN. Not only does he cover the games on Saturdays, one of the top crews of ESPN, and he talks about the games during the week, he keeps up with Recruiting 365. And I want to know if is there a bigger story behind what's happening at Oklahoma, where they have lost their third ESPN 300 wide receiver commitment for the 2020 class, the latest a 5-star wide receiver in Luther Burden, who has just decommitted. Why? Yeah. I mean, Oklahoma seems like a place receivers would love to go. Why have they lost 3 ESPN 300 guys?
Well, I'm going to have to pull a Ryan Brown here and tell you I don't know.
I say that a lot.
And listen, so much in recruiting goes with the inner circles of the kids now. So generally when things like this start to happen, it's coming from an experience that was had either on an official or unofficial visit, and it was a negative experience, and then that spreads, and then guys start questioning their commitment and things of that nature, and it can snowball on you. For a program like that to be in the position they are offensively, the playmakers that they've got offensively, it's one of the most attractive destinations in all of college football. What I think is going to be interesting is we start to see some of this stuff continue to take place. I'm going to be interested to chart how much of this has been impacted, how much decommitments are going to be impacted by NIL, in the sense that which programs are putting together NIL departments within their football offices to present during recruiting. I think that's going to play a huge role. It's no longer about just the right guy that you have a relationship or liking the campus or being close to home. Now what it's turning into is, what are the possibilities afforded to me through NIL if I were to sign with you versus somebody else? And the programs that are investing in that side of it to be able to present the plan are going to have a huge leg up. I'm not saying that happened here with Oklahoma. Maybe it had something to do with it. I don't know. It doesn't make much sense to me. But I do think that's going to start becoming a big part of the recruiting pitch and landscape.
I don't know if you've seen the story because it's broken in the last hour, but Kool-Aid Mckinstry of Alabama now literally has an NIL deal with Kool-Aid. I mean, that was the most obvious one ever. He does.
How great is that?
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, the kid can play, though, right? I mean, you studied him on film.
Absolutely. And, I'm releasing – they always ask – I'm releasing this week or next week, I can't remember, our freshman All-America team of incoming true freshmen who haven't played a lot. Try putting that list together. Haven't played a down. None of them have.
So it's a freshman that hasn't played a down, but they're going to be an All-American, a freshman All-American.
That we would project to have an All-American type season. Yes.
All right. So you got to you got to name 22. How many do you hope to get right?
Exactly. And then the worst part about it is trying to name a quarterback and offensive lineman.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I have scoured every roster for the last 3 weeks trying to figure out who in the heck am I going to pick out.
That's like walking in a bar. Hey, go find your wife in this bar tonight.
That's right.
Exactly. I mean, it's crazy. But anyway, it leads me. The reason why I brought that up is Kool-Aid's on our list. I can tell you he is manning one of the secondary spots.
Hey, so Bill Conley from ESPN.com did a piece today, 25 most important players for 2021. Number 22 on that list, Bijan Robinson, Texas. Averaged over 8 yards a carry the final 5 games of last year. He was fantastic. It's going to be fascinating to see how Sark utilizes Robinson based on what he did with Najee Harris last year.
I think that Bijan Robinson and Bryce Hall are the two best running backs in college football. I think that's how good Bijan Robinson is. And, it's interesting you ask that question because so much of the answer to that question, in my opinion, is how good are the skilled position players that can lighten the box for the run game. Everybody talks about the quarterback position at Texas, and how they're going to replace Allen. And we know they've got Bijan Robinson. I think they are really devoid of talent at wide receiver. And when I say that, I'm talking about the type of receiver that a Clemson, Alabama, and Ohio State is playing with. Texas does not have those guys right now. So without having 2 or 3 of those guys on the perimeter that you really worry about, all right, in the passing game, what's the incentive for the defense to not load up the box? And so I think if somehow Sark can manufacture some explosive plays in the passing game, then you could see Bijan Robinson have a huge campaign. If they're not as good in the passing game because people are able to drop an extra guy down in the box, now you're dealing with a numbers problem. So it remains to be seen how that offense, I think 3 years from now, you're going to see an entirely different wide receiver type of player at Texas than anything they've been playing with for the last decade.
Tom, I've got to ask you, this South Carolina quarterback situation, when Doty goes down, Zeb Nolan, I remember him. I remember him playing some at Iowa State and in North Dakota State, and he was the grad assistant. They're pulling him out there. Is this just for practice, or is there a scenario you see this guy taking a snap in an SEC game for South Carolina this year?
Well, this is a scary notion because if you're having to resort to this, that means you do not feel good about your 2-3.
Yeah, but Luginbill, I will remind you, who was the guy that almost was holding a clipboard at Alabama, ended up at
Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, Gardner Minshew at Washington State. It could be the same situation.
Yeah, they could be. And I think the good news, if you're a South Carolina fan, is it looks like this might be a missed 1 week, maybe 2 type of situation for Doty. This isn't a season-ending thing, which is important. You'd like to think they can get past Eastern Illinois and even East Carolina the following week. But listen, if Jason Brown's not good enough, if Colton Gauthier is not good enough, if Connor Jordan's not good enough, they've got a walk-on and Jake Helfrich. You're bringing your GA onto the field. That, to me, speaks volumes about where you are in your quarterback room.
Luginbill, you were talking about perimeter players, and early on, I have got Clemson to win the national championship this year. And I go back to 2018, and in that college football playoff, Justin Ross looked like a guy that could play immediately in the NFL. He's coming off the neck.
Jones.
What's that?
I said he looked like Julio Jones.
He did, and he's coming off the neck injury. He's been fully cleared medically. What do you expect out of Justin Ross this year?
If he stays healthy, he'll end up becoming a go-to 75-plus catch guy in that offense. And, that's been a question for me with this Clemson team because I think Clemson's going to be really good. They could likely go undefeated, maybe lose the opener versus Georgia, still would be a college football playoff caliber team, but I don't think they're going to be anywhere near as good on offense as they've been the last 3 years. Replacing Travis Etienne's production and Amari Rogers' production and not having Ngata, Ladson, or Justin Ross last year, and now you're breaking in DJ, who's played in some meaningful games. They need Justin Ross to be tip-top. They need him to be 100% healthy because those other 2 guys have shown flashes in Ladson and Ngata, but they haven't played a lot, and they've been injured. They've got the young guy in Williams that kind of emerged last year, which was a big pickup for them on offense. But to me, it's going to be about a team with a very average, and I would say that at best, very average offensive line. I'm more concerned with the O-line. How do you replace Travis Etienne's production and Amari Rogers' production? I think Justin Ross will be just fine.
All right, give us a streaming suggestion. You're always really, really good with these. Give us something we're missing.
Dr. Death on Peacock.
Boy, Dunaway's all on this one.
It's so good.
Oh,
so good.
Also on Peacock, there's a great John Wayne Gacy docuseries.
Boy, that was a creepy guy.
Yeah, it's really good because they go about it. We've all seen shows on A&E and stuff about serial killers and stuff, but they approach this and they go about it a different way, and you find out things that you never even knew. So I thought that was good. And then from a movie perspective, have you seen Old?
I have not.
No,
again, I don't like his films. I love The Sixth Sense, but after that, he completely fell apart for me.
That scared me.
Really?
I can't watch it.
Yeah, I didn't like Signs. I didn't like Unbreakable.
Wow, that surprised me. So this one is great because it's a great concept, and it's a hard concept to pull off, and they totally pull it off.
Hey, since you brought up Gacy, I went to the Crime Museum. I took my kids in Gatlinburg back in December. Have you ever been there?
I have not been to a crime museum.
No, it's
Gatlinburg. I'm sure it's good.
Luke, I'm telling you, it was like the highlight of the trip. They've got Ted Bundy's VW Bug there, O.J. Simpson's Broncos there, John Wayne Gacy's wallet with his credit cards, his leather jacket. I mean, it's a fascinating place.
Wow. Ooh, that does sound creepy.
Well, it's in Gatlinburg, so there's pancakes too.
There's pancakes. There's a wax museum.
That's
there's
right.
An aquarium.
And you can buy an arrowhead.
And no vegetables. We've brought this up before. No vegetables.
No, who needs vegetables? They're overrated.
All right, he is ESPN's Tom Luginbill. You follow him on Twitter, @Tom Luginbill. Look for his freshman All-American class coming in. If they've never played, they barely have a pulse, Luginbill's going to scour the nation and find 22 of them. Can't wait to see this. You've sold me on this story. I can't wait to see that come out.
So odd number, too, 22. Not 20, not 25. Going to find 22 of them.
I said, you want me to do what?
All right, Luke, thank you for the time. Always fun.
All right. See you guys.
All right, that is ESPN's Tom Luginbill with us on the next round presented by Bud Light.
By the way, I appreciate everyone jumping in. Mark, another person recommending Val Kilmer the documentary on Prime.
Guess I'll do it.
In 3 shows, we have had about 100 recommendations for the Val Kilmer docu.
I think he's a good actor. I just don't know that he interests me that much.
He's got a good story, man. How he is now.
Sometimes you never know about how good of a story somebody is
I know, that's what I'm
until
saying,
you get into it.
They said he was more like a Soleil Moon Frye or whatever. Where he recorded he filmed a lot of his stuff, a lot of private home movies.
So did Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
Rockstar gave me that look when I tried to be Jimmy Current and say docu. It's a doc, right?
It sounded like you document.
Yeah. So I was trying to say the short version like the kids do. Do I just stop at doc? No, it's not a doc. It's a docu. It's a docu.
I think that John Wayne Gacy thing Luginbill is talking about, and we're starting to see more and more of this because this happened with Dr. Death, and this is crazy to think about, is stuff going from podcast now to series.
That's right. Limited series.
Yeah, limited series.
Yeah.
Like people are listening to these podcasts.
Mini
like,
docus.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. No, they're mini docs. That's what they're doing is they're listening and they're like, hey, this fit great into
I like to call them min docs.
A 4-hour documentary. We can make a mini series out of it now.
Yep.
And I've seen like 3 or 4, and Dr. Death is one of them. I think that John Wayne Gacy thing is too.
My wife's telling me though that Dr. Death's going to be more than one season. I just don't see how.
If it's the same story I listened to, and I listened to it like 2 years ago to that podcast, so it's been out there a while.
Yeah, but how long was the podcast?
5-6 episodes.
That's about how long this is.
Well, would you not think, has the S-Town not been made into a movie or a series?
Yeah, they were trying.
Because my God, that thing, that blew up.
It did blow up.
It was hot for a second.
Yeah, but once you got to that like 3rd or 4th episode, it was
lost some steam. Well, there is a significant event that happens.
It really
that
is.
really changes
And they
the
try
whole
to keep it. You try to tread water after that.
Yeah,
but boy,
boy.
it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jason writes in, I can't wait for the mini doc behind the next round. LT wanted to do it. LT wanted to do it.
Okay, here's the
I
idea.
shouted from the rooftops.
Can we go ideas live on the show, Jim? Or
Not right now, though, but you can, yes.
Not right now. What do you mean?
Well, it's 20 after. You want to do that whole thing right now?
No, I was just going to say, do you like the idea?
Yeah.
At 7 o'clock.
Of the oral history of our show as a podcast?
Sure.
You did not. Don't act like that. You did not like the idea when I brought it up the other day. I was asking Rockstar and Lynn.
I would do it. I would do it now, though. Yeah.
I mean, so many things have changed. I mean, from a selfish standpoint, so many things have changed in my life since.
Yeah, I would like to start from our beginnings.
Us coming together
Yep,
in
us coming
2009,
together, yep.
2010.
And
I think it would be interesting.
If we did an oral history of our show, complete honesty, complete transparency, we talk about everything. July 2022.
Oof.
So it's July 2022.
Even the landmines?
Ooh.
There's worse things than the landmines.
Yeah. July 2022. A good nice trailer there. Yeah. When we come back, let's get some phone calls and some more people jumping in, watching us on YouTube, YouTube live chat. You can do that on Twitch as well. Watch us there and chat there as well. But if you'd like to call in, you can do that. 205-734-0923. 205-734-0923. We'll try the phone system out in the next couple of segments as well. 205-734-0923. I want to tell you right now, guys, there is absolutely one game out there that I never, ever, ever do not want to be a part of. And that's why I'm glad we may have, or we do have the Alabama Men's Clinic right here in Birmingham. They keep everyone in the game. They have treated thousands of Alabama men for ED, and there are many different causes of ED, like a heart condition, diabetes, a reaction to medication, or simply low testosterone. The Alabama Men's Clinic staff will find the problem, and some of you will be back in the game the day after your first appointment. Set up that appointment by calling 205-598-7000, 205-598-7000, or go to the website, alabamamensclinic.com. Let the pros come up with your game plan. There is no need to wait right now. Depression, anxiety, you can get a new connection with that special person in your life. It could be just one play away right now by calling the Alabama Men's Clinic, 205-598-7000, 205-598-7000, or get back in the action at alabamamensclinic.com.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
Win your tailgates this year with Champy's world-famous fried chicken. Fresh to order and worth the wait, you can dine in or use their call-ahead drive-thru. At Champy's, you get southern staples like chicken on a stick and Mississippi Delta homemade hot tamales. They're the best I've ever tasted. See it all online or order at champyschicken.com. You can mix it up with po' boys, tenders, and those full fried chicken plates. Right on Highway 119 in Alabaster, it's fresh and worth the drive on your way to the beach or the big game. Order online right now at champyschicken.com. That sound means someone got great advice. Always have a good plumber on standby. For me, that is Iron Mountain Drains and Plumbing. Jeremy Purvis and his team can handle commercial and residential plumbing needs, and they give you free quotes. 205-516-4927 or ironmountainworld.com. They handle all your plumbing and jetter services. They'll do everything from drips to new fixtures, and they are licensed, bonded, and insured. ironmountainworld.com. Just drain it.
The next round kickoff party will be at Walk-Ons on August 26th. I'm Lance Taylor. Join the entire next round team starting at 5 p.m. We'll have food and drink specials from Walk-Ons and our friends at Redmont Vodka. The next round kickoff Thursday night, August 26th at Walk-Ons off of Highway 280 on 119.
You hear a lot of interesting phrases while playing golf, like, I think you're on the beach, or the classic, you gotta hit it, Alice. One word you're sure to hear right now at Bentbrook Golf Club is wow. Brand new carts with complimentary GPS and the bent grass greens are so consistent, you just might drain a few more putts, Alice. Tee it up and find out for yourself. Book around today at bentbrook.com or call 428-1999. It's better at Bentbrook.
The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the next round host a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and bourbon, our weekly college football conversation while sipping some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world, and our not for all